Hi, and welcome to the video on inverse functions. For the given function y equals 1 over x minus 2, we're asked to write down its domain and range, find its inverse function, and find the domain and range of the inverse function. Let's start with part 1. Are there any restrictions on the domain of x? Well, we have a denominator of x minus 2, and denominators cannot equal 0. This means that x will never be able to be equal to 2. So our domain will be all real x, except x cannot equal 2. Using interval notation, we have negative infinity to 2, union 2 to infinity. Let's take a look at the range. Are there any restrictions on the y? Well, there is a fraction on the right-hand side of our equation. So with y equals 1 over x minus 2, that 1 over x minus 2 cannot equal 0. This means that y cannot equal 0. There is no value for x that will give a fraction a value of 0. So our range will be all real y, except y cannot equal 0. Or using interval notation, we range from negative infinity to 0, union with 0 to infinity. Now we're going to find its inverse function. To do that, we're going to replace the x and the y. We're going to swap them over, and then we're going to rearrange for y. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator and then divide by x. A quick way to do that is just to swap the y minus 2 and the x over. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I get y equals 1 over x plus 2, which is the inverse of the given function. Now I'm going to find the domain and range of that inverse function. I start with my domain. Are there any restrictions on the x? Well, we have a denominator of x, and we know that denominators cannot equal 0. This means that our domain will be all real x, except x cannot equal 0. Or using interval notation, we range from negative infinity to 0, union 0 to infinity. Now we look at the range. Are there any restrictions on the range? Well, there is a fraction on the right-hand side of our inverse function, and we know that with our fraction, 1 over x will never be able to be equal to 0. This means that y won't be able to be equal to 0 plus 2, or y won't be able to equal to 2. So our range will be all real y, with the exception of y cannot equal 2. Or using interval notation, we range from negative infinity up to 2, union 2 to infinity. I hope this example has helped you out with inverse functions in taking functions and rearranging them, as well as finding the domain and range. Good luck.